I love ice cream.
Yes, everybody loves ice cream.
I could actually use some ice cream right now.
Imagine if we have like a match between ice cream and candy. Who would be your favorite?
What if ice cream, candy, and candy shop all got in a fight together?
That's irrelevant. Let's jump in the game. We're actually already
Candy
in the
shop
game.
would crush everybody.
Turn off the music, please. Please turn off the music instead of please do not stop the music. As we have Empire Vines being our Protoss player.
How can you ever say that candy shop is irrelevant?
In the right top side of the map.
I'm ashamed of you right now.
Because Ben, most people who are watching right now have no idea who Candy Shop is.
Well, you know
and we
what
can
that
change
means.
that later.
You know what that means?
Yes, but
it's story time, Kevin.
And Goes to Ice Cream is our Terran player in the left bottom side of this map. Ice Cream is leading 1-0. For the people just tuned in, these games are not live, but they are played very, very recently. With very recently, I mean 30 to 45 minutes ago, literally. We just had to get the replays of the file server. So they are as recent as they can possibly be without being live. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. These games were played only like within the hour.
Yes, literally.
So
you want to tell a story, Ben?
I would love to tell the story of Candy Shop.
Okay.
But you have to help me remember because it was actually a while ago.
You know, the thing is, I can't really actually give all details regarding this story because that might get you fired.
How?
Because that was the night you were convinced you were immune. Ben lives on the impression that he is immune to certain effects that have an effect on every other person in the world besides him. But the next thing I saw was Ben laying on the street in Cologne next to a homeless guy who was playing a song for him with a guitar singing My American Boy. And Ben still is under the impression that he's completely immune to everything that we did that night.
I was in control.
That's not in control, bro.
Alright guys, so this is a legendary story that a lot of our European fans are already going to know about. But once upon a time, Kevin and me lived in Cologne, Germany. Now, this is a beautiful city in Germany, one of the coolest cities I've ever lived in. I think, Kev, you probably like Cologne as well.
Yes, definitely. I love it.
Great place. Spent New Year's Eve there, spent many nights there. It's an awesome city. So a huge shout out to Germany and to Germans and to Cologne. But one night, we decided to go out. And the cool thing about Cologne is the nightlife just kind of migrates as we see a little bit of Probe SCV action there on the minimap. You'll start the night, get dinner, then you go to a bar, get some drinks, and then the bar will close, and you'll go to the next bar, and that bar will close, and you'll go to the next bar, and just the entire city just migrates from these places throughout the night until Venus Keller opens up at 4 in the morning.
Which the Germans call, like this is a word for the Germans only, but they call it Restenfieke. Which basically means that all the girls who really want to get a guy that night but didn't get one yet, they go there.
They go to Venus Keller.
Yes.
So we make it to Venus Keller around, I don't know, 3 in the morning.
Yes.
Some ungodly hour. And we've all been partying a lot, so we're all kind of messed up. You know, we're drunk and stuff. And I'm just like not feeling so hot. Like it's down. It's like it's literally. It's called Venus Keller, which is in America we would say Venus Cellar. It's literally a cellar. It's under this building. So we go down. We go down underground, and it's really hot and kind of muggy. And we're down there dancing and drinking and all that. It's me and Kevin. I think Connie was there, my girlfriend. Were we there with Hasu?
No, not that night. It was Chris.
It was Chris. Okay. And so we're just hanging out down there in the Venus Cellar, and finally I realize, okay, I don't feel so good. I need to go outside and get some fresh air. And so I just kind of go up outside on the street, and I get up there, and I was being my normal sociable self, just talking to people, saying hello, and I met this really pretty girl, this blonde-haired girl. Her name was Maureen.
She looked a lot like Cameron Diaz.
She had a very striking resemblance to Cameron Diaz. Still not much happening in the game, guys. As soon as it picks up, Kevin will interrupt me, and we'll put the story on pause. And so I was talking to Maureen, and a really pretty German girl, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just here with my friends. And she's like, where are you from? I was like, oh, I'm American. She's like, oh, that's so cool. I'm here with my friend. And she pointed me to this guy, and she introduces me to this guy, and the only word that comes to mind when I try to describe this man is specimen, right? He is jacked. He is like Mr. Olympia. Just like perfect chiseled features, ripped,
photogenic,
wearing cool clothes. I mean, just looks like a badass. I mean, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger reincarnated, right? So I like shake the guy's hand. I was like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm Ben. What's your name? And he says something that I don't understand because he is very, very German. And I have no idea what he said. But for whatever reason, it sounded like he said candy shop to me. And so I was like, oh, your name's Candy Shop. Nice to meet you. And he's like, no, 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 this is my name. I was like, I heard you, Candy Shop. Really nice to meet you. So, you know, again, this guy is a perfect physical specimen. He could crush me with his thumb if he wanted, but he was super cool. And eventually he just started rolling with it. He's like, yeah, I'm Candy Shop. You know, and so eventually Kevin comes out looking for me. And I was like, oh, Kev, look, this is my new friends, Maureen and Candy Shop. And we ended up hanging out.
Story's going a little long back.
With these guys all night. I don't actually remember where I'm going with the story.
Oh my god, I think everybody at home hates you right now. I think the coolest, okay, a wrap up the night, the guy started playing music, Candy Shop from his iPhone, started running around, very cool ripped guy. Then we went to one of those arcade halls, and the guy like literally hit the punching bag through the wall, and and Ben ended up in the street next to a homeless guy playing American Boy on a guitar. So, that being said, Ben, both players went for the fast expand, and we can see that Vines chrono boosted out a lot of probes, as he's already at 48 probes right now, or 47. We can also see that he ignored the robotics bait this game and went for the Twilight console immediately, started researching charge, started getting the armor upgrade as well. And we can see that Ice Cream on the other side is just doing the exact same thing, opening up quite economic, and he's now following it up with a bio army, switching up of course his starport and the factory so you can get a reactor and get those first medevacs out. And that's where we're at. I love the observer positioning, by the way. Can I say that?
That's excellent observer positioning. He's got great map vision. Kevin, you skipped a very important part of the story, and that's the only word Candy Shop could say in English was the name of a club that he wanted to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Loom, Loom. Oh, he was saying that, oh, Loom, Loom. And so finally we went to go to Loom because that's what Candy Shop wanted to do, and that's when we saw the arcade. And I was drunk off my tuchus, and so I just walked into the arcade, and Candy Shop reluctantly followed me in there. And that's where we played the punching bag game, where you hit the punching bag and it gives you a score.
Yes.
And like Kevin and me hit it, and we got like 500 points, and then Candy Shop hit it, and he got 999. And like the punching bag machine literally like came up off the floor when he hit it. He was the strongest guy ever, except for Happy Zerg. Now we've got something talking about in the game, Kev.
Because this army is actually a pretty scary army. There are only 2 medevacts on the field, so that's the only thing that's working in Vines' favor right now. Vines have been tagging so extremely hard. Oh, good scan right there by Ice Cream. He's gonna have to drop force fields. And he does have charge, but he needs a couple of more weapons.
Whoa!
Don't do
look at that. Candy Shop Marine runs up the ramp, doesn't die, makes it back down.
That's very smart. Force field.
Force field does go down, and that's excellent play there, cutting off this army, and that is going to really slow down this push. But does Vines have the time?
I think he has right now with the Darkon. The Darkon can soak up so much damage. There's not really a lot of heal in his army, which means that Ice Cream is going to have to stim again, and that would bring his army very low in HP. Wow, that was excellent defense. Those 2 High Templars with those feedbacks, they helped out big time.
But you know, Kevin, in the midst of that, Ice Cream's taken his 3rd base. This command center is about halfway done. Vine sees it with his observer. But is he really in a position to do much about it? How are his upgrades? He's working on only +1. He does have +1 armor as well. But I like Ice Cream's position a lot, Kev.
I kind of like Vine's position because I really think this is the way that he had the game in mind. You can't really take a Nexus quicker than this as he's doing it right now. He's going to get Storm. He's only working off 1 forge. That's one thing that I'm questioning a little bit. He also has money for an additional forge. But this can get kind of tricky for Ice Cream. If more feedbacks land and Storm is going to be ready soon, it's going to take a long time before Ghosts are out. I think that Vines might be able to do something with the position that he's in. And I think he's quite pleased with how this game went so far.
You know, Kev, I think one of the funniest things about Candy Shop is months later, he added you on Facebook, and he's like sitting in the passenger seat of this badass Audi.
Yes, Audi R8.
So he really is like the ultimate dude.
That was a very, very weird warp in over here by Vines. Perhaps he thought there were only 1 or 2 units over there. Now we do see Vines adding his 2nd forge as well, which is over here. So I like that. I also love the fact that he warped in a High Templar in his main base, 1 in his natural, and is there 1 over here as well? Not yet, but I'm sure there later will be. You always want to get 1 High Templar at every base. You might think you need them in the army, but trust me, they help out so much against potential drops.
Vines is going to try to make something happen over here outside the 3rd base of
with
Ice
Storms,
Cream.
man, I really think that he's going to be able to make something happen.
I think Ice Cream should have built some bunkers. Okay, now I think he realizes what's going on. He's just going to lift.
Ice Cream's like, no, it's not going to do it.
Archons are scary business, man.
Man. Vines lost picking up observers. Both players lost 13 units so far this game, so in that regard it's a very even game. Vines right now continued building probes a little bit again. As you can see, 3 probes in production at once. And he's already up to almost 65 probes right now. 3 base economy, he's working on double forge, just now getting the Robo Bay. I think Vines is playing a close to perfect game so far.
Yeah, this has actually worked out nicely as his 3rd base is now up and operational. Ice Cream's not been able to do anything with this third command center that he built. And while he does have the Ghost Academy done, he's only just now beginning his Ghost production. So this is actually looking a little bit rough for Ice Cream.
Once more is Ken. Kind of funny how many idling SCVs Ice Cream has. It doesn't really use Control F1, I think. For the people at home who are wondering what does Control F1 does, it selects all your idle workers, and it's one of my favorite hotkeys in the game. I could literally not play a game without Control F1.
Yeah, it's a great hotkey. Something that I think is interesting is a lot of Koreans that I've talked to actually unbind it. They use the F keys for their saved camera positions.
Which I think is crazy.
I agree.
I think that's really nuts.
Idle worker key is like the best key ever. It was my favorite key in Age of Empires.
It was my favorite key in Warcraft 3 as well. I remember I had this conversation with Longwalk, a very good American Night Elf player, and he said like, man, I hate it when I have that idling wisp icon. It doesn't matter if it's the most important fight of the game. I will tap to my main base and put the wisp back to work. Might lose my hero, might lose the game, might get eliminated of the tournament, but I will not have an idle worker. And
that's pretty funny.
That's how a lot of people roll.
Age of Empires also had an idle army, or like army guy button, which is the most useless button in the world because if your army's not fighting, it's always idle.
Yeah. Wow, that's weird.
And it would just like cycle through. So like if Ice Cream had that kind of button, he would just cycle through each Marine and Marauder and medevac.
you know that meme, genius, genius. Idle army button, genius. 17 Marauders.
You make that face so well.
That's like, man, I love that meme. A lot of ghosts on the field right now, but only 2 Vikings. I'm a little bit sad, man. It's not a double robo yet. Do I have the right to be sad about that?
Yeah, I think you do, Kev. I think that double robo late game transition is just brutal.
God, he has so many zealots.
Oh, but a lot of Marines, though.
Yeah, Storm's gonna have to land. Otherwise, I think this single Colossus is not going to be enough. Here come the High Templars.
Oh,
EMP does
EMP.
hit 2 out of 3. That's a very weird storm. I guess he tried to storm the Vikings. Genius.
Look at this. He's loading ghosts and medevacs. That's really cute. But not going to actually end up doing anything with it.
Talking about precious cargo, man.
That's right.
Wow, and look at it. And the medevac had full HP, full energy. 1 feedback, killing 4 ghosts and a medevac. That would be the feedback of the century.
Protoss Army a little bit out of position as Ice Cream makes his way down onto the 4th base, but there is now a second Colossus.
EMP hits once more, all the sentries. Not a single storm has landed yet on this army. You're going to need to land some storm vines.
EMPs and all the High Templar, at least the ones that were in position to be in the battle, have been taken out. There are 3 more with the army, but that army is in full retreat, Kev. 4th base is taken down.
But these zealots are doing a lot of damage in the counterattack, so Illusion or Ice Cream is going to have to deal with a lot of the damage here. But all that Vines needs is to land a storm, and he hasn't landed a single storm yet.
Vines says DKSL, I have no idea what that means, and then
left the game
out. So Vines,
I guess he was suffering from lag. That's the only way I can explain that army positioning, but maybe it means something else. I have no idea.
You know what that says?
No? GG, well played?
No, it's that candy shop life. And he tapped out because he knew.
I don't think that's what he said, man. But most importantly is that Vines advances to the round of 32 as well, so congratulations to the Korean Protoss playing for Team Empire. I'm a little bit surprised. No, it's not Vines, of course. It's Ghost to Ice Cream. What's wrong with me? Ghost to Ice Cream, congratulations to him, the Terran player, advancing to the round of 32. And unfortunately, OGS Vines, the Korean Protoss playing for Empire, is out.